Okay folks, JEP Reale here. Today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about three ES-335 style guitars that I currently have in my possession. I've got this one, which is a Chibson, as they are so commonly referred to, meaning a knockoff Gibson from China. And I have to my left an ES-355 inspired by Gibson Epiphone model. To my right, I have an Eastman T59V. They're all three cherry red, and we're going to talk a little bit about each one. I thought I'd go in price order, low to high, starting with this one. This is a guitar that I ordered back in September of last year. I got on the list. I bought this from Bad Cat Instruments. Everything they do is through Facebook Messenger, and they made an announcement asking people if they would be interested in a Marty McFly ES-345 from the famous movie Back to the Future, and they needed a certain amount of people to pre-order it to build them. So I pre-ordered it and paid for it, but I have to tell you that I will never do that again, as it was a nightmare trying to get information on the guitar and updates about the guitar. And finally, this past May, it's July right now, I talked to their moderator, the person that deals with everybody and the orders on Facebook, and decided to take this guitar, which is not a 345. The 345 that they said they were going to build had the Veritone switch on it. This is just the, I think they called it the 64 ES-335. It's got the mid-60s style appointments, the small block inlays. They say that the finish is nitrocellulose, but I doubt it. It looks a lot like the Epiphone finish that you'll see next. That is a very lightweight satin polyurethane finish. It's okay, it's not super shiny, doesn't appear to be too heavy. This guitar also has a plastic nut. It has the tulip style tuning buttons. It has fret nibs on the end, which means there's little plastic binding on the edge of the frets. Mahogany fretboard, two humbuckers, two pneumatic bridge, stop tailpiece, three-way switch, volume and tone for each pickup. And I have to tell you that I was really surprised at how good this guitar is. I would be much more enamored with it if it didn't take 9 months for them to get it to me, and constant aggravation trying to get somebody to respond. I doubt if I'll ever buy another guitar like this from Bad Cat or any of the other Chinese manufacturers. It's just too stressful for me to try to deal with that, considering the current economic climate. Who knows what's going to happen. I paid $341 for this guitar, and that included shipping from China. Now, having said all that, forgetting about the strife that it took to get this guitar, it's actually really nice. So I'm going to do a little playing. I'm going to try to play the same thing on each guitar so you can get a little sample of how each one sounds, and then at the end of the video I'll tell you what I think. That was the bridge pickup. Pretty nice, a lot of bite, very bright. Here's both pickups. Now the neck pickup. I should mention that I'm playing through a early 1950s Gibson GA20 amp, and all the guitars are set up with D'Addario NYXL 10 to 46 strings. The action is set pretty similar. I like my action medium, not too low, not too high. I like get a little fight from the strings. So that is this guitar. Like I said, for $341, pretty good deal. Sounds pretty good too. Here we go. Okay, so the next one I'm going to switch to is the inspired by Gibson Epiphone ES-355. Okay, here we go. Inspired by Gibson Epiphone ES-355. Now, one of the differences that I forgot to mention on the Chibson is that this guitar is the correct, vintage correct construction, laminated maple top and back. A little bit of flame to the maple, nothing too outrageous. I very seriously doubt if the Chibson is laminated. Feels a little different. It's a little lighter. This guitar definitely has a little more heft to it. Has the gold hardware. This guitar has Grover tuners, and these tuners are really nice. They're 18-to-1 ratio. They're really tight. You can get really precise. Love the action. They're smooth. This guitar has an ebony fretboard and the large block inlays and tortoise shell pickguard. This is actually my favorite variation of the ES-330 series guitars. It's mono. I love the cherry red, I love the ebony fretboard, and I love the big block inlays. I've played ones that are stereo. Yeah, they're okay. I don't need that for the way that I play, so I like the mono. This guitar has a Graphtec nut, which is really helps with the classic Gibson G string sticking and pinging out of tune when you're trying to get it just in tune, just exactly perfect. Other than that, this has one of the things that I really love about this one is it has the 59 round back neck profile, which that's always my complaint on all these less expensive guitars made overseas is that they never have a nice neck profile. But this one, it's perfect for me. I love it. It's a nice full between a D and a C shape. Really fits my hand well. I love playing it. Makes me want to play more. So I'm going to do some of the same licks that I did on the Chibson. So here's the inspired by Gibson ES-355. Okay, right off the bat, pickups are much hotter than the Chibson. Definitely got that gnarly bridge humbucker tone. And these pickups are actually Gibson, made in the USA, Gibson custom bucker pickups, and it has CTS pots and Mallory caps. That's a big difference from the standard Epiphone 330 style guitars that come with pickups wherever they're made overseas also. This is one of the things that most people change when they buy an Epiphone or a Chibson. They change the wiring harness, the pots, and the pickups. This one already has it done. I love the way this sounds. That's the neck and the middle pickup. Now this is just a neck pickup. notice that the control pots are very, very responsive on this guitar. I'm going to go back to the bridge pickup. This is 10 on the volume, 10 on the tone. Start with the tone. That's all the way on. That's all the way off. There's the first noticeable difference. It's on 3. Next noticeable difference. Tone control's on 5. The last noticeable difference there, actually not the last, on 7, and then all the way on 10. So there's 4 or 5 distinct tonal differences on this guitar. And I also like that the volume is on 10. I just rolled that off to 8, and it cleans up really nice. You can hear that on the neck pickup. 8, 10. Really nice little boost there between 8 and 10. The tone knobs function beautifully. You do not need to change the pickups or the pots on this inspired by Gibson Epiphone 355. Just like the Chibson beautiful cherry red finish. All right, so let's take a look at the Eastman. First noticeable difference is that the Eastman, they put the jack on the side instead of the top, like the inspired by Gibson Epiphone and the Chibson. I love it on the side. I wish they would have moved it from the top. This guitar is also laminated maple top and back, and this has really highly flamed maple back, top, and back. Let's see if I can't get the strap off here. There we go. I don't know if the camera can pick that up, but really flamey maple, very, very subtle with the cherry red finish. And the finish on this guitar is actually hand applied rubbed shellac, and it has light aging on it. This guitar also has an ebony fretboard, and I love the hash mark inlays on this one. It's got aged Cluson tulip style tuners. The hardware is aged. And these pickups are Seymour Duncan Antiquities, which are some of my favorite humbucker style pickups. And I'm going to do the same thing. This guitar, the accent's set a little higher. I usually play slide on this, but it'll be fine for today's demonstration. So here we go. Pretty good. Pickup's not as hot as the Epiphone, which is not necessarily a bad or a good thing. Pretty good. That classic bridge humbucking bite. Both pickups now. Now just the neck. This guitar, the controls on this guitar are also very sensitive. You can hear the volume drop from 10 to 8. Bridge pickup. Tone control on the bridge pickup on 10. On 0. Noticeable change there at 3. Another change at 6. Another change all the way up. So similar to the Epiphone, this had a little less tonal changes. This is a really, really nice guitar. This is the most expensive of all the three, and I really, really like this guitar. It plays really well. Like I said earlier, I use it for slide because this has a wider nut. It's 1.72 millimeters wide. When I play slide, I use my fingers, and I like to have a little wider string spacing. So this is my go-to for slide guitar. Now, the summary here is that these are all three really nice guitars. Depends how much money you have to spend. I was really pleasantly surprised at how good the Chibson was. Like I said earlier, for $341, you can't beat that guitar. You can get a used Epiphone for that kind of money. New Epiphones are between $400 and $600 for this style of guitar, depending on the appointments and how fancy you want to get. I really, really like the Epiphone inspired by Gibson ES-355. All the appointments, I love ebony fretboard. They're so smooth. I like the block inlays, and that has the one feature that the other guitars don't. It's that it has the beautiful 59 round back neck profile that makes me never want to put that guitar down. So, in conclusion, depends on what your budget is. I advise all my students when they ask me what kind of guitar they should get, the first thing I tell them is figure out how much money you can spend, and then you can find a good guitar in any price range. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it's helpful. If you have any questions, just put them up in the comments, or you can reach out and send me questions directly through my website at www.jpreality.com. All right, ciao.